Hey, GutFoxx here. Today we're going to talk through Gold Goons, basically the updated version of my Silver Studs I did before the season. The sponsor today are clubhouses, built originally by cavemen to store their armaments. Unlike my Silver Studs, which I did before Madden 16 came out and won't need updating through the year, Gold Goons will be added each week through Team of the Week and Football Outsiders among many other promotions. So this list will look very different in February, but anyways, I'm going to try to give you the best options at each positions for different styles of gameplay, whether that be run heavy or pass, 3-4 or 4-3, a mobile quarterback, or pocket pass, or various other styles you'll see ahead. And before going forward, I want to say thank you to Mutthead for having all of these stats. And if you'd rather read this than listen, I'll post a link to my script in the description. In my Silver Studs, we started with offense, so for the golds, we'll start with defense. Without further ado, I'm going to run a 4-3 on the defense because I'm used to that and I kind of like it. But I will be talking a little bit about 3-4 players too. At left end, I'm going to want somebody speedy to contain the passer, but with decent block shed to help against the run. Unfortunately, there aren't any good 4-3 left defensive ends, but fear not, we have alternatives like pass rushing linebackers to save the day for obvious passing situations and run stuffers for short yardage. As a tangent, I'd really like finesse move over power move for defensive ends. I don't know why, but D forward on my Silver Studs with his high strength and finesse move combo gets more pressure than any other lineman combined on that squad, and they all have power moves for that. So if you have a finesse move, you'll have a slight advantage over those with power moves when pass rushing. In addition, I had Jadeveon Clowney as my right end for a really long time on my main squad. He had 0 impact on games, and he has 91 power moves. I'm going to avoid those power moves, like I said, so just know that. But to answer my 4-3 defensive end, who I want, I'll get to it at the end of my right end segment for 4-3. But to the 3-4, you need to have somebody strong with good block shed at each position on the defensive line for that scheme. Having 3 defensive tackles at each of the down lineman positions is a strategy that would work. But at left end, I want Steven Paella, 78 overall, 99 strength, 84 block shed, which is a little low though. For the right end in 4-3, it depends on what you consider the combined Randy Gregory a gold or an elite. He's a really solid player at 4-3 right end, basically the best out right now for the gold and pretty cheap. Otherwise, Lawrence Sidbury can rush the passer effectively. Vic Beasley is a stud and you can move a fast outside linebacker here. But for dollars to donuts, Randy Gregory, 84 overall, is a choice at both defensive end spots in my 4-3. For the 3-4, I want Mike DeVito, 80 overall, 91 strength, 89 block shed. Defensive tackle, this one's pretty easy in a combo I've been running on my main squad, which runs the 4-3, Dan Williams and Brandon Williams. Both high strength, high block shed, mean SOBs. Although if you hate screens enough and have trouble defending them, get somebody like Jonathan Babineau or Henry Melton who can recognize the play and have a decent shot at chasing it down with their okay speed. For the 3-4, either of those Williamses work, but I'll choose Dan Williams. As an aside, if you really want to shut down the run, put Dan Williams at right end and put Damon Harrison at nose tackle. Sorry about that. Let's move on to middle linebacker. I will user this position as I have so far in MUT 16 and MUT 15. I might still use Nate Askew due to his speed, catching, and jumping and height, but this is a Gold's Goon, so I have to go with Ryan Shazier and his Schefter Star that is coming out Thursday. I'm really hoping that thing has no improvements to intelligence stats and all of those improvements to physical so he can be a user god. I'm probably going to be let down, but a boy can hope. So in a 3-4 middle linebacker, one position will be the user Nate Askew / Ryan Shazier. The second should be a good run stopper with high play rec. Speed isn't as necessary because the 3-4 does a better job at shutting down the outside run. The second middle linebacker should be focused on stopping the run up the middle with high block shed. I kind of like Darrell Washington's mix of skills with decent speed, but I'm going to try a better run stuffer. I'm going to go with Stephen Tulloch to start. High pursuit, block shed, 93 play rec, 90 awareness. We'll see if his smarts are able to put him to good spots that his speed isn't able to. Let's move on to left outside linebacker. I want somebody who plays the run well in a 4-3 because when I'm in a 4-3, 46, or 3-3-5 alignment, which is the only time this player is on the field, his first job is to stop the run. Pass coverage skills are secondary but still needed. In the end, I'm going to go with Nigel Bradham. 86 speed, 87 excel, 91 hit power, 93 pursuit, 84 zone coverage. For this position in a 3-4, you want a pass rusher who can help against the run. This battle comes down between Jayrone Elliott and Bruce Irvin. Finesse moves versus power moves. I'm going to go with 81 Jayrone Elliott off the bat to see how he plays. Even though he is 4 points slower than Irvin, he's got a significant strength and finesse move advantage. Right outside linebacker, the same as left basically. But for the 4-3, I want someone stout against the run, but is also good in coverage because they will be there in nickel sets with me. A tall task for a gold linebacker, of course. Levante David is obviously a great choice for this, but he's 1 point overall too high. If this were 15 and 85s, overalls were still golds, I'd tell you to scoop him up. But for what you want out of a 4-3 right outside linebacker, 83 overall Sean Lee fits your criteria to a T. 95 play rec, 93 pursuit, 83 zone coverage, 83 hit power, 92 tackle, 87 awareness, 89 acceleration. He's a little slow at 82 though, but overall you couldn't ask for a much better right outside linebacker. In a 3-4, I'd go with Jadeveon Clowney because he has 88 speed with 92 acceleration and 91 power moves. As I said earlier, I tried him in a 4-3 at end, and he made no plays for me. We'll see if having him play his natural position changes anything because those physical stats are really unmatched in the game. Cornerbacks we'll move on to. You need to decide right away whether you want a smart guy or a dumb one with great physical attributes. But 4-3 and 3-4 secondaries play very similar to each other, so I won't be differentiating between the two. In addition, you need to decide your main defense and what it will consist of. Will you be man-to-man or zone or blitz to stop the offense? Now, you don't need to run just one or the other because mixing coverages is the key to success on defense, but you should pick one to go to as your main shutdown option. We'll start with man press corners, even though the scheme might not be terribly effective just with gold corners. For man press, I'd go with that 84 Jimmy Smith, who has 94 press, 90 man coverage. His speed is unfortunately low at 88 though. Xavier Rhodes is 91 press, 87 man, 90 speed. Marcus Peters is very similar, but only 86 man. At dime, you could put a very capable team of the week, Ladarius Gunter. 89 speed, 88 press, 84 man coverage. And take 2 looks at Schefter's star, Demarius Randall. He's fast with decent man coverage. His press is unfortunately low at 84 though. If you style your defense to put you above a 90 on man coverage, all of a sudden those man coverage and press stats start to look quite elite and your scheme much more effective with these gold corners. Jimmy Smith goes up to a 99 press and 95 man coverage. Those are better than any corner in the game. But don't sleep on the zone coverage rating either. They all have upper 80s, so you aren't missing much by dropping them into zones as opposed to man to keep the offense guessing. If you want to mainly play zone with your corners, I like to have tall guys on the outside. Although I've heard from a few sources that height doesn't matter as much this year, I think of it like this: height doesn't factor into overall. So it's basically a free stat that doesn't cost you on overall. Unfortunately, the market does adjust for height, but in a cover 3 defense base, the outside guys should be tall for the lob streak to help defend against it. So my recommendation is Darius Slay and Ladarius Gunter at the number 1 and 2 for your defense. I'd recommend Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, but he's 15,000 coins, so he isn't really too budget. He's both tall and in a captain set, so unfortunately someone that might be just priced a little too high for the so-called budget status. If it's later in the year and you're watching this, check his price. He might be in your zone. But your nickel corner in this scheme should be someone with high play rec and block shed to stand up to the run on the inside. William Gay is the ideal corner for you. 91 awareness, 61 block shed, 90 play rec, 85 zone, 72 tackle, and 69 hit power. Don't ask him to play man-to-man for you though, but if you use him exclusively in the zone as your nickel corner, you should have a great player for your scheme. Dime corners aren't out on the field a lot, but you should get someone gayish to play there like Alteron Werner. Good stats to hold up in the run and pass. Moving on to free safety. Do you want someone fast? Do you want someone intelligent? Someone to play in the box and stop the run? Someone over the top in cover 3 or cover 1 and 2 man? Or play man-to-man in a blitz scheme? there are many different roles you can have your safety play, and having a capable defender back there can be the difference between a good defense and a great one. But unfortunately, gold safeties can't do it all. So you'll have to pick what you want from your player and call plays that fits their strength. The guy I'm going to go with is Reggie Nelson. 89 speed, 92 acceleration, 91 agility, 87 zone, 94 jump. He can play man in a pinch with a 77. His awareness of 81 is okay. His downside is the 74 play rec and the lowish tackling and hit power. It'll be interesting to see if the low play rec hurts my run defense or if he gets fooled on play action frequently. But I like him mostly to play deep in a blue zone to help against streaks with his jump, and his acceleration and speed to get to the sideline to help with those deep passes against the corners. I think all my defenders I've picked so far, out of all of them, I feel the most unease with this one due to that play rec. There really aren't any good man-to-man gold-free safeties. If you want a guy that can run it, get Devin McCourty, 87 overall. I ran with him for a while, and the dude is a stud. So you could always move a corner there too if you really want somebody good at man-to-man for a cheap price. For run-stuffing free safety, get LaRon Landry. He's fast and hits like a bull. He's also great for the kickoff team. But I will say it would be interesting to try somebody like 82 Charles Woodson. He's slow, but he's got the only awareness above 91 for a safety in the game. He's got 94. And there's only one other safety above an 87 awareness. That was a purposeful decision by the developers to leave awareness low on these safeties so that they aren't too smart. I don't know why, but basically, the seams are open right now against cover 3. Wait until later in the year when we get free safeties who have smarts like Woodson and speed like Desmond Southward. Those 20-yard completions up the seams will turn into picks like they were in 15. Alright, moving on to strong safety. The game's about to end, but we'll keep going. Everything I said above about free safeties applies to strong safeties. But to reiterate, gold safeties kind of suck. Their play rec and awareness are all bad. If there was one position on your entire team that should be elite, it's your safeties. But in the cover 3 that I'm going to be playing, a strong safety with good play rec is important in order to diagnose the run to help shut it down. The best gold strong safety is 84 overall Nate Allen. The Football Outsiders card, 89 speed, 91 acceleration, 80 awareness, 81 play rec, 87 zone coverage, good catching stats, and okay height at 6'1". His downside is that he isn't a hard hitter and his tackling is only 74, which I guess isn't terrible when compared to his competition. He's an all-around good player. If you like a man strong safety, you should look at Tyvon Branch, who has 91 speed and 94 acceleration along with 78 man-to-man coverage, which is high for a strong safety. Again, you might be better with a corner here due to their much higher man coverage skills. And moving on to the kicking game, at kicker, get gold Brandon McManus if you can afford him. If not, get his bronze card. At punter, get Tress Way. If he's too expensive, get silver Marquette King or bronze Robert Malone. I hope you guys enjoyed this Gold Stud series. Let me know if you guys have found any. We can talk about it in the comments. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Call to action. I'll see you tomorrow.